Technology leadership and OpenBlue are covered next. Here's Vijay Sankran.
Thank you, Antonella. I'm really excited to be here today to share our strategy around our OpenBlue software platform, the digital blueprint for our future. It's our smart building solution that enables the solution for customer problems around energy management, safety, sustainability, and so much more. Let's take a closer look at our OpenBlue software platform. I've recently joined Johnson Controls a few months ago from a Fortune 500 fintech. And what motivated me to come to Johnson Controls was the opportunity to leverage all the learnings around data analytics and digital experiences and really build a digital advisor for the smart building ecosystem. If you think we're at a key inflection point in the transition from traditional building management systems to a fully smart autonomous building management system. So if you look at what we've had traditionally, we've had HVAC and controls, fire detection, access and intrusion, all very rich capabilities, but standing alone independently and not really connected and talking to each other. With OpenBlue at the center, we're fully taking the first steps and making progress towards smart autonomous buildings, where all of these different systems are interconnected together, leveraging a standardized digital twin structure to store data and creating scalable experiences on top of that to add value for all of our customer solutions going forward. It's this power of digital and really interconnecting the building with modern technologies and software that creates this autonomous ecosystem as we move forward. OpenBlue is game-changing in terms of every aspect of our business and really has enriched all aspects. If you think about digital services, global products, and digital solutions, with OpenBlue as the foundation for everything, we're able to create new service offerings around remote management as a service around industrial equipment, leveraging AI and ML to enrich those solutions, and really an as-a-service model like we're doing in our performance improvement business, as well as some of the work that we're doing on security as a business. In global products, which has extensive leadership, as Jeff shared earlier, in areas like control and cameras and intrusion and fire detection, OpenBlue infuses those edge solutions with software and models and artificial intelligence to take those solutions to the next level. So it's the OpenBlue and attaching that with our leadership around global products that actually differentiates Johnson Controls from many of its key competitors. And then finally, the digital scalable experiences that we generate for our customers through the power of OpenBlue is where significant value is added around energy management, sustainability, safety applications, and actually the visualization of the campus and fully driving autonomy to the business. Again, these are these subscription-based solutions that will be building for industrial verticals, as well as specific solutions like data centers and security that create significant value and make OpenBlue that game changer for us. Now let's take a closer look at the OpenBlue software platform. What makes OpenBlue so special, it is a single software platform based upon a modern architecture that's cloud-based, but also able to be deployed on a private cloud environment that ingests data from the edge, stores it in a digital twin structure that's based upon the industry standard brick format, as well as an analytical structure that's based upon Snowflake, a leading industry analytical platform, applies AI and machine learning to those data sets, creates alerts and monitoring and optimization algorithms within that context, and creates those scalable experiences that our customers consume and can take action upon to actually control those devices at the edge to create outcomes around energy efficiency, decarbonization, really where items should be placed during the construction process. So it's that holistic nature of OpenBlue that's a key differentiator for us. Double-clicking down on the OpenBlue architecture, you start with our OpenBlue Bridge, which is our software stack at the edge. Think of it as the iOS for smart buildings. So OpenBlue Bridge delivers a secure connection to all of those devices, both Johnson Controls and non-Johnson Controls devices at the edge. And it's very, very powerful in the way that it does that. It connects to those devices, it creates a secure connection up to the cloud, ingests messages and signals and alerts and data from those edge devices, and then basically formats them and then routes them up to the cloud in OpenBlue Cloud. OpenBlue Cloud has three primary purposes that it serves. First, OpenBlue Cloud stores that data, as we mentioned, in a digital twin format. So think about that digital twin format as a spatial representation of the building. So how different objects in the building ecosystem connect with each other, where things should be laid out in the building ecosystem that can actually be visualized using a visual rendering tool. Second is the OpenBlue analytics environment, which actually collects the data and the telemetry from the edge, alerts, readings from the sensors, how a chiller is performing, and stores it in an analytical repository where it can be analyzed through our consuming applications as well as our internal service staff. Thirdly, OpenBlue Cloud enriches those data through third-party connectors. So imagine sustainability, for example, where you may actually want to understand the source of those different renewables that are coming into your energy efficiency and decarbonization goals. OpenBlue Cloud has an extensive set of third-party connectors for things like energy sustainability, scheduling, servicing to leading third-party systems that are brought into OpenBlue Cloud to create even more open capabilities across our environment. Then there's the repository, the library of artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to do things like vibrational analyses, detecting objects from our cameras, being able to look at predictive failure, understanding where a chiller may have downtime. All these libraries that we're building in a very agile way that then can create optimizations that our customers can take action upon. And these are consumed by our OpenBlue applications that then can actually create those rich, scalable digital experiences. We talked about that digital as advisor for the smart building that is so powerful in terms of creating that outcome. Let's take a closer look at these applications. So our applications are grouped into several key categories. First, you have OpenBlue Enterprise Manager, OpenBlue Central Utility Plant, OpenBlue Connected Equipment, which are all oriented around energy management, sustainability, and the monitoring of equipment at the site. These all work together to create alerts, create insights, give a visibility into energy efficiency, and we'll see that in a few minutes. Then you have OpenBlue Companion, which is our return to office solution, which enables hybrid work, where employees can actually go into a mobile device and be able to book a space using and leveraging schedulers like Microsoft Outlook to integrate that information and understand more about their work environment, integrating data from sensors around things like air quality and monitoring for pathogens in the space. It's a very powerful tool for employees returning to the workplace. Next, we have OpenBlue Secure, which is all about risk management, and it has several key modules around risk management and alerting and actual active dispatch for active incidents that security operations centers can manage. All of these are built upon the OpenBlue platform, which we'll take a closer look at right now. So here, a facilities manager would log into OpenBlue and Enterprise Manager, which is their single pane of glass for managing energy efficiency, sustainability, and fault management. So they'll go into their login screen and they'll securely log in. Here you can see all of the different facilities in their buildings, the electrical consumption on the upper left, the energy utilization units, which is a normalized factor. On the right, you see all of the data around faults, energy performance, tenant management. So this is sort of their single pane of glass. So now we're going to double click down into energy consumption, specifically around energy utilization units, so we can see more data about the space. So you can see the energy that's been consumed at a campus level holistically, what some of the carbon consumption is and the carbon footprint, some of the KPI on water, and then you can look at it on a building by building level. So now let's dig down specifically into building one. So you drill down into the next layer and you can see the energy consumption in building one, and then you see over time what has been the energy utilization. You see that several months have not been meeting their benchmarks and their baselines and actually reducing the energy efficiency. So we're going to drill down into actual faults to see what has happened in that particular set of months. So now you drill down, you see 3 months in the red where we haven't met the benchmarks that we've set in terms of energy performance. And now we go down and we actually begin to look at the faults that might have contributed to it. So we see a high weekend load on a particular equipment. Now we go down into that and we can look at the faults by equipment category, the different fault types around energy and the different equipment that we have in the particular space. And we see that in the air handling unit, there is a specific fault that the weekend performance of that air handling unit may be contributing to the energy efficiency issues. So we double click on that and we can actually create a particular service ticket that gets dispatched, and then we can route that to address that particular need. So that's what we're doing right here. Now we're going to switch gears and move over to our companion app, which is our return to office hybrid work environment tool. You can see that an employee can go in, pick a particular space that they would like to book in a particular location in that space, double click on it, see what equipment is available to them, and actually say, okay, I'm going to reserve that particular space. They've gone into that space, they look at when they want to reserve it. It's integrated with Outlook and other scheduling tools, and they're actually able to go ahead and reserve that. And now coming back to OpenBlue Enterprise Manager, the facility manager can see the overall utilization of the space, what the current occupancy rate is, as well as the total capacity. There are other attributes on the left, like the infectious disease risk score, as well as indoor air quality, that's captured off of the sensors on the edge and can give them a holistic view of the space and what the issues might be. You can see on the bottom there's additional KPIs around the risk scores and the quality scores, and this is where the power of AI and ML and OpenBlue comes together in order to be able to optimize capabilities and conditions in that particular space. So we've clicked on a particular part of the floor, and here are some recommendation options that OpenBlue has actually generated. So in option 1, we can optimize the air quality and the pathogen risk, and in option 2, we can take some additional measures to optimize energy efficiency. So it gives our customers a balance point, because if you have additional ventilation, for example, that could increase your energy costs. Whereas if you have less ventilation, that could reduce some of the risk scores. So it's all a balance between these different attributes. And once you accept, let's say that the highest on the risk score, that works there well to optimize the space. Now we're going to log into OpenBlue Enterprise Manager again with a different, more space and campus specific view. So now you can see more of that digital twin visualization capability here, where you can actually see all the campus buildings, the active alarms, the work orders, as well as standard KPIs around people, places, and planets. We're going to drill down into the specific highlighted buildings so that we can explore that in more detail. So we've clicked on that, and we go into that actual building space, and you can see all the different floors, and it's represented as a set of layers that you can actually highlight and filter upon. So now we're actually going to go into the elevator part of the building by filtering out on that, and you can see what the alerts are on specific elevators and faults. Now we're going to go to the mechanical aspects, and you can see the different floors there, and you see some specific alerts on a specific floor, which is the rooftop. So we're able to see that in the red and basically click on it by looking at the individual floor. You can see that on that floor, we're going to click on HVAC operations to see the performance of our rooftop chillers. And so we go ahead and click on that, and you can see the flow and the pressure and whatever conditions, and this is all being collected with real-life telemetry off of those edge devices. Now we're actually going to go into looking at the lighting in a particular space, so we filter upon that. And so you click on the lighting button, and now you're able to see where there might be alerts around lighting. Now we're going to actually go into the security cameras, and we can actually activate the security cameras on the space, and you see that there's a fault that's been indicated in the red around a prop door open. With the security camera there and the integration of those two data points, you're actually able to verify that and be able to dispatch someone almost immediately through standard workflow and orders to create that rich alert to address that particular condition. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and through a standard work order system, we actually go ahead and say, here's the asset. Let's go ahead and create the work order in that particular issue. The work order is created here through the single pane of glass in the workflow. and integrated with the workflow system at the customer. So we go ahead and do that, and while we're doing that, we actually see an active alarm for our security operations systems that there's a risk that's local. So now we move into our active responder and risk insights platform as part of Secure that shows you all the different risks that happen in a particular area. So you can trace the particular incident that we just saw, and we can trace the timeline of when that incident emerged and all of the details around that. Similarly, you can go to the overall pane of glass within Secure and look at all the different monitor building and threats, external event information that's been coming in from third-party sources around threats. You can filter all of those things so that only the key signals come through. So we're actually going to go ahead and do some of that and be able to look also categorically at the different types of risks that exist around hurricane, wildfire, and different other types of issues. So now we can actually, based upon intel that we're getting, add a new threat, which is what we're going ahead and doing. We're adding a new threat into the system so that our standard operating workflows can take effect. So you can see in the same format, a threat has been added to the workflow system. And now we're going ahead and checking the conditions associated with that threat so that we can basically submit dispatches to local authorities to address that particular threat. So we're going ahead and doing that. It's going through the standard workflow. We can trace it through the workflow, and it's actually setting up that dispatch at the end of the day. And so that's been completed. And this is the overall dashboard where you can see all the active standard operating procedures. As you can see, all of these solutions together on a single software and data platform, OpenBlue, is what creates value for our customers at the end of the day. And you can see that we can, in an agile way, in an agile software engineering organization, continue to add scalable experiences that add significant value for our customers at the end of the day. These solutions, as you can see, powered by the OpenBlue data and software platform, will generate significant growth for Johnson Controls as well as drive operational efficiencies. The as-a-service model, which my colleagues Ganesh and Mike will talk about a little bit later, have things like performance improvement as a service, which we're already leveraging OpenBlue for. Command Center as a service, which we're working with several large companies around. And you can see the evolution into building management as a service, IoT cybersecurity as a service. So these are all recurring services that are inclusive of our digital capabilities, OpenBlue, and other elements of service that really create recurring value for our customers. Subscription revenues will continue to grow as well with OpenBlue. These rich digital solutions enabled by OpenBlue driving recurring revenue around energy management, sustainability, decarbonization, hybrid work, space visualization, healthy spaces are all very powerful. And they will continue to generate additional value for our customers and create additional revenue for Johnson Controls as well, as they already have by some of the growth in these spaces. And finally, OpenBlue will change the way that we do business in terms of our ability to do remote triage and diagnosis, over-the-air activation and updates, remote updates using firmware patches, streamline our connectivity at the edge with OpenBlue Bridge, our iOS for smart buildings. So by doing all of that, we also become a much more lean and efficient organization in terms of service. These are all powerful enablers for our revenue growth and OpEx efficiency moving forward. One of the areas where we've had strong leadership in is in the building management space. So we have our award-winning Metasys platform, which OpenBlue leverages and builds upon. So in Metasys, it's very building specific, it has a manual setup, and has very strong local optimization of controls like lighting and HVAC and chillers and other parts of your building. OpenBlue builds upon Metasys at a campus, multi-campus level, brings in additional sensors and devices, integrates third-party devices that are not Johnson Controls specific, takes that data, analyzes it, and provides two-way optimization back to those devices, which is a very powerful construct. Let's double-click into that a little bit more. So if you look at the specific pieces of functionality, you have things like remote monitoring that is not enabled through a traditional building management system, which is what OpenBlue enables through its single pane of glass. Equipment health monitoring, where you can look at faults and be able to do predictive maintenance and analysis. administer remote firmware updates over the air so that you can add additional functionalities on an ongoing basis. Be able to capture additional data through third-party integration. This is something that a traditional BMS doesn't have the capability to do. Support new use cases. We started with energy management. We're quickly pivoting to sustainability. We've added security. Now we're doing space visualization. So we can, with the data and the data that's coming from the edge, we can add a lot of new use cases quickly. So this is a very powerful construct, and we feel it's a key differentiator versus the rest of the industry to fully enable smart autonomous buildings. The additive value of OpenBlue with multiple BMS systems is seen here at a large global asset management firm. What the customer has done is integrated multiple building management systems across 42 buildings to collect data, analyze it, and provide optimization recommendations. We've taken individual BMS systems, 10 or more, with hundreds and tens of thousands of points of data and improved energy efficiency by 800K in just over 2 months. Over 5 years, they're expecting energy efficiency benefits of over $4 million. And by being able to manage and look at the campus holistically, they're able to drive an additional over $2 million in operating services by not having to dispatch out technicians and do monitoring capabilities at the edge. This is the power that OpenBlue has brought to one of our major customers. OpenBlue is the leading smart building software platform. And the reason that it is that you look at the strength that Johnson Controls brings to the table around its breadth of portfolio of building management solutions, whether that's in access control and video surveillance, or whether that's in our chillers and HVAC units, whether it's in intrusion, whether it's in building controls. We have this breadth of portfolio of solutions that add a lot of value to our customers and have a lot of existing customers. Secondly, we have deep relationships with these customers through our field presence. And so when we add OpenBlue on top of that, we're able to create a platform that connects all of these devices at the edge, connects non-JCI devices, and deeply integrates all of these things into a single software platform and data repository that adds AI and ML to create these scalable experiences. That's a really very powerful construct that our competitors just don't have. And the reason that it's differentiated is while our competitors may have different pieces of the puzzle, it's the holistic nature of breadth coupled with depth, with agile, scalable experiences that are driven around customer outcomes with specific orientation around verticals that makes OpenBlue so powerful at the end of the day. Cybersecurity is something that's absolutely top of mind for all of our customers these days, and it's something that we take very seriously within OpenBlue. Number one, we have a very comprehensive product cybersecurity framework that we utilize from the onset of the software engineering process. And we do scanning, we teach our engineers how to integrate security into their engineering best practices. We manage risk all throughout the engineering lifecycle. Then as things are launched and there may be vulnerabilities that are externally discovered, we have zero-day patching and update mechanisms that ensure that our cloud platforms are best in class and secure. Then we have third-party partnerships with leading companies like Pelion, Nozomi, and Tempered to establish secure connectivity at the edge and constant edge monitoring of all of those edge devices that are connecting securely into our ecosystem. And finally, we have industry standard certifications such as ISO 27001, SOC 2, and FedRAMP, which have third parties validating our capabilities around cybersecurity and ensuring that OpenBlue is absolutely a very strong offering in terms of its cybersecurity. We also have amplified our reach and accelerated our time to market through our ecosystem partners. We have 3 types of partnerships: technology partnerships that add capabilities to our platform and speed our time to market, our go-to-market partnerships that really amplify our reach and allow for co-development efforts, and regional partnerships that allow us to enter markets with very market-specific needs. Around the technology partnerships, we have partners like Pelion, Nozomi, and Tempered who have accelerated our capabilities around device management and cybersecurity. We have very strong go-to-market partners like Microsoft and Accenture. Microsoft, where we've co-developed on their Azure digital twin structure, and Accenture, where we're actually co-developing third-party connectors. And then finally, in the China market, we've partnered with Alibaba to really accelerate our time to market and really add capabilities and reach the Chinese customer base very quickly. All of these are built upon the OpenBlue platform, which we'll take a closer look at right now.
Over the past year, we have witnessed a second wave of digital transformation sweeping every company and every industry. This is driving real structural change that'll outlast the pandemic. Johnson Controls is using digital twins to transform how buildings and spaces are designed, built, and managed. For example, digital twins enable building managers to support COVID-19 safety protocols, including maximum occupancy guidelines, and they're able to better monitor and optimize systems and ultimately reduce costs.
Our mission at Alibaba is to make it easy to do business anywhere. We see Johnson Controls as a partner of choice that can help us expand domestic consumption by helping us building data centers and creating connected buildings on the Alibaba platform. They can also help us expand globally as we bring more industry solutions to the world, combining cloud, big data, smart solutions for buildings and supply chains.
As cities become smarter, so do the buildings. Johnson Controls International, a company with more than 100 years' experience in building operations, is one of the leaders in this space. They opened an APAC HQ office in Shanghai in 2017 and managed several notable buildings in the region, such as Taipei 101, airports in Japan, and casinos in Macau. Arm and Johnson Controls share a vision on how buildings and workplaces will evolve post-COVID. The need to build contactless spaces filled with automated doors and light switches so that physical contact is reduced is key to our return to in-person interactions. These systems will use thousands of sensors for automation and control, ensuring that the benefits of making buildings smarter does not come at the cost of over-consuming energy is therefore essential.
OpenBlue is a game changer for every aspect of our business. First, it brings together the power of a modern software and data platform. Second, it creates significant value creation for our customers in areas like energy management, sustainability, safety, and campus visualization. Next, it enhances the functionality that we already have leadership on in terms of building management solutions leadership and access control and video surveillance, intrusion, controls, and our traditional HVAC and chiller and industrial business. It's this portfolio